My name is Bob Neumann. We're sitting here in my place in Hawaii, and I'm joined by Murat Erdemsel, who has graciously agreed to allow me to interview him regarding his recent paintings and their connection to Argentine Tango. I grew up in Berkeley, California, where I eventually attended the university there and received an MFA in sculpture. Subsequently, I moved to Hawaii, which is where I met Murat and Michelle, and began studying tango. They were some of my very first teachers. But enough about me. What do you think about me, Murat? Seriously, tell me a little bit about your background and your history.
Well, I should thank you for inviting, first of all, and it's a beautiful house you made, you can tell. Well, about me, I was born in 1975. That makes me 36 years old today. And I was raised as the son of two artists. My parents both, my mom is an artist, painter, and my father was a graphic artist and was also her teacher at the School of Academy of Fine Arts in Istanbul. And naturally, since I'm little, I was expected to be the part of that path they were following. And with that intention, perhaps, after I did my education in art, I ended up moving to New York to get my master's degree on painting and to live my new life as an artist, which actually turned out to be a different location later on. I ended up in Washington, D.C. and got my master's degree sessions in George Washington University for painting. Then I'm going to dive in quickly, if you don't mind. Tango was already the part of my life. I started this in Istanbul before I moved to the United States. It's been about 13, 14 years. And quickly after, it became much more interesting than what I was doing that time in New York. So I ended up going to milongas and dancing, and eventually I started to teach and put art aside. Fortunately, unfortunately, some of my best friends, including my parents, they said that they were very, how would you say?
Disappointed?
I didn't want to say that. That's what I'm trying to avoid. They were surprised, they were shocked, and they had a lot of expectations, and they felt like maybe I'm not going to follow the same direction. But I ended up doing something I really enjoyed, which is dancing. And I'm very happy today that I can finally say the most niche way of putting all these things together, including art, music, some experience I had in my past, and tango, getting together with these new paintings. So I don't think they are disappointed, because that was like a little bit branching out from whatever I was meant to be doing. And with the help of that new experiences in dancing, maybe I was able to look back at myself as an artist and maybe actually to realize I was a painter and I was successful up to a certain level, but I did not have a real purpose of painting. I was so free to do anything I wanted, and I was so following my own inspirations that time compared to what I do today.
Did you find the painting easy for you when you were doing the paintings?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I never, it was so natural. I never questioned if I was even talented, if I were a talented person, if I should be really doing paintings and stuff. It was, I don't know, like if you were born as the son of a carpenter, then you just learn by doing it, by watching your father, and you never question, unless somebody makes you feel terrible about, your job. That never happened, thank God. But I felt very comfortable, and I felt like that's what I should be doing. But again, I mean, both my parents, or maybe the artists that we admire today, they found the purpose of doing art after a certain time. That just doesn't start with you. You have to have a life experience. You have to know how the things are around you and how you look at them. You have to learn yourself and study yourself and your reactions to things. Then art ends up being a beautiful tool for you to convey your own way of being. So that, in order to reach that, I had to branch out from painting and go towards tango and interacting with people and traveling the world and seeing things with the help of teaching and dancing while I travel. And it gave me that vision. So within that vision, it's much more meaningful to grab the tool called painting and do things with it. So I feel much more confident.
So it seems like from the painting you were doing and the tango dancing now, that you've actually come full circle around all this, and that if I may, it almost seems as though that's the fruition of your life, that there's a completion, a circle to what you have accomplished now. Is that correct?
That's very accurate. Thank you for putting it that way. You said two things here that I'm going to open up a little bit. First is the idea of a circle, some kind of something was completed, you said. And yes, it's true. I feel like I was meant to be in a certain direction as a child, and through the art education, which I'm glad that I went through all that, even though I didn't have certain consciousness about it. But I learned how to respect the nature, and I learned rules in the nature, with understanding how the lights and how the colors and how the keys that actually open the doors for you to understand how this beautiful thing is actually functioning. So I got to learn that, I feel like, and train my eyes and train my mind. And so then, of course, within that time, I had a band. We played music with my friends, and it was a professional band, I could say. We're about 5 people, and we had great talents in that band, and we played blues and jazz music, and we kind of didn't fit in Istanbul that time. I remember, the bar owners were kind of, you guys are playing strange music, why don't you just play something that everybody loves, So anyway, that was one stage, which is part of that big curve that hasn't been a circle yet. And then later on, finally, tango comes in, and through tango, I could say, yes, learning tango, dancing tango, teaching music in tango, focusing more on the musicality aspect of the dance in our teaching. And eventually, in almost a pathetic level, incorporating some of the very basic, simple images that I thought could help students to understand the structure of the tango music. These were tiny little flash animations or tiny little JPEGs in the first site, and then later on they grow into a little more complicated graphics and stuff. But it came to a place that I said, why don't I paint these things? A painting, 5 foot, 60 inches painting, could give me freedom to put everything I hear in the music, with all those brush strokes, with all those textures, and with millions of colors in front of me that I could combine and do this more accurately. So that is when I felt like the circle was completed, because a very strange journey, if you think about it, going through these different things. And while some friends think that I was maybe concentrating on unrelated things or so.
On tangents.
Absolutely, probably my parents or my best friends were, surprised about all that as we talk. But I feel like putting them all together and coming out with a lecture that talks about paintings or talks about the images, therefore you can allow the audience to visualize the tango music through them, was the moment that everything got together, and that gave me a sense of comfort and purpose. I felt like for the first time I actually have a good reason to paint.